Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into Sparks Like Stars, which is just this powerful story about a past that absolutely refuses to stay buried. We're talking about how one single night can echo for a lifetime and the profound journey you have to take to find the truth.
And this one line, wow, it pretty much sums up this incredible 30-year journey of resilience that kicks off in the total chaos of a revolution. It really speaks to this deep strength that's forged in an unimaginable loss, a strength that guides our protagonist all the way from the blood-stained floors of a palace in Kabul to the quiet, sterile hallways of an American hospital.
So, where does our story begin? You might think it's in the past, but nope. We're starting right here, right now, in the almost too quiet setting of a New York hospital room. And it's here that a 30-year-old wound is about to be ripped wide open. So meet Dr. Aryana Shepherd. She's a successful, brilliant surgeon. But when her new patient walks in, everything just stops. To everyone else in that room, he's just another patient. But to Aryana, his face is a straight-up nightmare made real. She recognizes him as a ghost, the very soldier from the coup that destroyed her world 3 decades ago, the man who held her captive.
So who is this guy, and what did he see on that awful night? I mean, this is the question that just kicks everything off. And to really get the shock of this moment, to understand why her carefully constructed world begins to tremble, we have to go back in time, to a different country and a completely different name.
So you've got these two totally different points in time, right? On one side, you have this 10-year-old girl named Sitara. Her name actually means star. And then bam, on the other side, 30 years later, you have this accomplished surgeon, Aryana. These two lives, separated by decades and thousands of miles, are about to crash into each other. Hard.
All right, let's rewind. We're going all the way back to 1978, to a world of privilege, poetry, and simmering political tension, all happening inside the presidential palace in Kabul. So back then, Sitara's childhood was lived against this backdrop of some serious geopolitical maneuvering. Her dad was holding these tense meetings with Russians and Americans, but for her, her personal world was all about love, learning, and especially stargazing. She would just lose herself for hours with her best friend Nilab, poring over these ancient astronomy texts, seeing her future written in a pen of light.
And this really shows you who Sitara was deep down. Even as a young girl, she had this fierce sense of justice, of history. She believed in the strength of her people and knew how important it was for them to tell their own stories. And wow, she was going to need that strength more than she could ever possibly imagine.
And then it happens. In a single night, it's like the stars literally fall from the sky. The Saur Revolution explodes. The palace, which was her playground, turns into a tomb. The revolution leaves crimson splatters on the walls, and a 10-year-old girl hiding away becomes the sole survivor of a massacre that takes her entire family.
So she survives. A soldier hides her during all the chaos, but the life she knew, it's gone, wiped out. Her journey from this point on is all about escape, about staying silent and becoming someone else entirely. And this is the transformation. It's drastic. To survive, Sitara basically has to die so that someone else can live. With help from an American diplomat's family, she escapes Afghanistan using the birth certificate of her deceased older sister Aryana. Just like that, Sitara, the stargazer, vanishes. She holds on to these words from her father. I mean, can you imagine? He told her that fate isn't just handed to you. You have to shape it. But to bend it, you have to withstand fire. And that's exactly what she does. She becomes Aryana Shepherd, a girl who seemingly fell from the sky, carrying these deep, unspoken wounds that no one, absolutely no one, knows about. Okay, so let's jump back to the present, to that New York hospital room where 30 years of carefully buried history has just walked through the door and, yep, checked in for an appointment. So she's face to face with the man who was there when her world ended. Aryana breaks her 30-year silence. Her questions aren't just for a patient, they're for the keeper of her past. And he gives her something she never had before, a clue. This cryptic phrase, among giants, becomes the first real lead she's had in 30 years about the final resting place of her family. And all this time, she's been carrying this one piece of her old world, a ring she saved from that last night in the palace. And now,
Holding it, Aryana decides she can't run anymore. This ring is so much more than jewelry, right? It's a tangible piece of her lost history. And just like that, the quest for truth is on. Armed with this one cryptic clue and a lifetime of unanswered questions, Aryana does what she probably thought she never could. She returns to Kabul, the city of her birth and her deepest trauma. So, guided by Shair's words, among giants, her search is this painful journey through a completely changed landscape. It eventually leads her to the infamous Pol-e-Charkhi prison on the outskirts of the city, a place of immense suffering, and perhaps answers. And there, in the shadow of the prison, the search ends. Strangers, people moved by her quest, they actually help her dig. It's a moment of just profound grief, but also closure. It proves that even after decades, even after wars and revolutions, the truth can be brought to light from the silent earth. In a final act of reconciliation, really, with her country and herself, Aryana donates her precious Ikonam ring to the National Museum of Afghanistan. She returns a piece of history to its people, finally letting go of the past she carried all alone for so long, and allowing an object to tell the story she no longer has to bear in silence. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Can you truly bury the past, or do you have to unearth it to finally be free? Aryana's journey from Sitara the Stargazer to Aryana the Survivor suggests that confronting history, both personal and national, is the only path to reclaiming the future. It's not about forgetting, it's about unearthing, and in that discovery, finding peace. Thanks for joining this edition of The Explainer.